about the series, and what made you, want to take this journey with the cameras tagging along?
When I got the opportunity, first of all, thank you for having me, Tracy. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. When I got the opportunity to meet with Pope Francis, a couple of the producers of that event on my side, on the Chosen side, said, "Hey, we think there would be some real interest in seeing your journey in not only meeting the Pope, but like how you got to this point, what it's like as a day in the life of playing Jesus, what the impact is on fans around the world, and what your experiences are when you have these fan interactions, and then talk to other artists and professionals and thinkers and speakers about the impact of Jesus on the culture throughout." And it just seemed like such an interesting and unique concept that nobody had ever done anything like this before.
Jonathan and Jesus, a surprising documentary filmed between the window of season 2 and season 3 of the production of the world-famous Chosen series. Jonathan Roumie, he plays Jesus in The Chosen. And what is this man's story? Why did he see the Pope? What is his religion? What is his weight to being Jesus? For heaven's sake, goodness gracious, to being Jesus. All of this is explored in the documentary. Jonathan journeys to Rome to saturate in the character that he will be playing. The litter of history that is spilled all over Rome is ripe for someone hungry in the historical mind to diagnose his character. He meets historical icons that unpack for him what it means to be exactly that, an icon. He meets Brandon Flowers, the lead singer of The Killers, as well as Alan Cooper. But the weight of who diagnosed, not just a weight in being an icon for just so many people, but the weight of creating a persona to portray to those people. And in fact, it wasn't even about Jesus as playing the character just being a figure of significant publicity. This is where we get fine, refined thoughts and delicious dialogue. This is what Alan Cooper says.
Fame is really dangerous. I mean, look what it did to Elvis. Here's a good example. If you take anybody and put them in the biggest mansion on the planet and say you can have anything you want, you can have all the women, you can have all the drugs, you can have food, you can have anything you want, but you can't leave the mansion. That person will find a way to kill themselves because they've lost the basic freedom to be able just to live.
So the craziness of his life starts to amplify. The craziness of people coming to him and saying, "I love you, Jesus," is starting to become more noticeable. And he shares his scared in that people say that when they pray to Jesus, they see his eyes. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. The whole documentary is just littered with amazing personalities and famous characters, as well as authors, podcasters, filmmakers, relevant scientists, and thinkers. One of these pastors is a man by the name of Francis Chan, a former pastor of a megachurch that he disbanded in pursuit of a small church in China. So he was an underground church organizer in China itself. And he goes on to say to Jonathan that if he had to play Jesus, he would be too scared. This man, he said he would be too scared. He went up and he was like, "Gosh, it's so sacred of a space.
What if I was asked to play Jesus? I think I would be too scared.
Jonathan goes all the way to Paris, where he has a long day of interviews. And you catch snippets and bites of his dialogues. One of them is, do you think people get confused between you, the actor, and Jesus, the savior of the world? And the rest of it tells that. And he hopes to be the vessel by which this is moved towards God, but not the embodiment of it. He's not on that boat as his coach tells it. He's like, he's not trying to be that. He's an actor. Jonathan's just like, we all want really one thing. We just want, I wrote this down. We all want one thing. That is purpose, love, connection, and a sense of belonging. He just wants to make, he really shows like it's noble to want just to make a living. It's noble just wanting to have a living. The documentary ends with the eve of the production for season 3. Jonathan and the crew all come together, and the sound guy, the video man, all of them just sort of embrace as they've been living in these Sprinter vans through this X amount of time, as they've been going all over the world together, from Paris to London to Los Angeles to Waterloo to Dallas to Phoenix to Salt Lake. And you're there too. You took this journey with him. Your fly on the wall is you seeing Jonathan when he's relaxed and the cameras are off of him, when he's expressing himself to his coach and he's just sharing those emotional blocks. And like, he did that for us. He did that for me. He did that for you. It touches so well. And it feeds so well. It encouraged me to see God in art and dreams not in dichotomy, but art in its sincerity. If you like my content, please consider commenting and sharing it. Please, I just love this documentary. Just please watch it. Sincerely, Kale Shuffers. This is Great Heavens.
And I thought, you know what, if there's an opportunity that somebody can hear my personal story and how God has been so faithful to me and how he's taken me from the very bottom and bringing me through this level of success, maybe it'll inspire other people to kind of keep going with their dreams and the inspirations that God has put in their heart, and ultimately, you know, get closer to him by surrendering to him and letting him take the lead, which is what I did and to get to this point.